Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Mark 1 Tower, this is Albatross 1-3, requesting permission to land, over.
I don't need a computer to tell me how to land a damn airplane.
6.
Heads-up display, check.
5,
Lasers, check.
4,
Particle beam, check.
3,
Photon bolts, check.
2,
Chair control, check.
1.
Let's do it.
Broadcasting from a secret underground location somewhere in Mos Eisley. This is the Docking Bay 77 podcast. Make yourself comfortable. The show is about to start. Hello and welcome to the Docking Bay 77 podcast. I am your host, Dayton Johnson. Well, it's another season, so it's another Metallica episode because, I have to do at least one every season, and, why not? And this one we're going to kind of rip the Band-Aid off of a couple of albums. But anyway, joining me for this journey through the 90s Metallica, we have the drawer of very cool things and apparently the wearer of hats this evening. It is John Wright. How you doing, John?
I'm doing really well, but if I tell you how well, you're going to have to help me hide a body.
We're here for you, John. We're here for you. It's almost as good as this, stubbing the toe one from last time. Anyway, moving on. And apparently he's covered in ranch, maybe hot cheese. I'm not sure. And he's healthy for you sometimes. It is Tim Brown. How you doing, Tim?
The hot cheese wouldn't be terribly healthy, but other than that, I agree. So
yeah, but it makes it taste a lot better.
The ranch is not healthy either, and my God, that's a disturbing image.
Tim covered in hot cheese. Yeah, it's very disturbing. But anyway,
moving on. Go down easy. Wait, that is not where we want to take this.
No, that's our OnlyFans page. Stop doing that.
That's what she said. But I'm chill.
God. Anyway, so on this evening, we are discussing 3 albums in a row from Metallica. We are doing the self-titled or the Black Album, Load, and then Reload. I have a lot of thoughts. So to kick this episode off, we're going to do one of our favorite things to do when these guys are here. We're going to try and guess each other's favorite track off each album. And I will tell you, it was very, very difficult for Load and Reload to even think of anything. Anyway, so for Tim, I'm just going to do all 3 of the albums right now. For Tim, I say Wherever I May Roam, Until It Sleeps, and Fuel are my picks. And then for John, I have Enter Sandman, King Nothing, and Bad Seed. So Tim, what are your guesses?
All right, for you, for Black Album, I've got Of Wolf and Man, Load, Until It Sleeps, and Reload, Slither. Okay, yeah, for John, Black Album, Through the Never, Load, Hero of the Day, and Reload, The Memory Remains. All
right, John, what are your guesses?
For you, from the Black Album, I have Wherever I May Roam. From Load, I have Outlaw Torn. And from Reload, I have The Unforgiven 2.
All right, for Tim, what you got?
For Tim, I have Enter Sandman from the Black Album. Let's see. I gave him Outlaw Torn as well from Load.
Okay.
And then from Reload, I'm going to go Where the Wild Things Are.
All right. All right. So with that, we're going to move into the first album, the self-titled or Black Album. Which do you prefer? Do you guys call it the Black Album?
I do call it the Black Album, even though I know that the correct answer is self-titled.
Right. Right. What about you, John?
I don't really refer to it one way or the other, to be totally honest.
Well, there's his thoughts on that on that album. So,
I mean, no, to be totally honest, until we decided to do this one, I can't tell you the last time I listened to that album in its entirety. And to be really honest,
yeah, it had been a long time for me too.
I didn't listen to it. To get ready for this because out of the 3, it's the one I'm most familiar with.
Yeah. To be fair, it was the one I listened to the least as well, preparing for this because, well, we'll get there. So Well, to me, I just call it the Black Album. It's like, with Led Zeppelin 4, it's technically untitled, but everybody calls it Led Zeppelin 4 because it was their fourth album, but whatever. Let's jump into some opening thoughts for the Black Album. John, I'm pretty sure we bought it the same day, if I remember right. Because I know I was waiting in line with somebody at a record store, and I bought the CD and the cassette the same day.
I think, did you come up and we went up to Camelot Music, and because you were pissed off that somebody had a midnight sale that you couldn't go to, and we went and got it like at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we waited in line.
The official release
yeah.
day.
Yeah, I remember waiting in line, but yes, I did not get to go to a midnight sale. So
yeah,
yes,
it
that
wasn't
is true.
much of a line because the line was basically you and me and like two other people.
Well, either way, still, I still have that CD.
I want to say Tim was there too, though.
It's possible I went along for moral support, but back in those days, I was so dirt poor, I wouldn't have been able to get a copy of yesterday's newspaper.
Well, okay. So, all right, John, continue with your opening thoughts.
That being said, it's really, I know a lot of people were pissed off about this album. A lot of people are pissed off about all three of these albums, if we're really being truthful.
Right.
But I mean, it is what it is. You saw it in the documentary when they were mixing it, that there's at one point in the documentary where they cut to Lars and he's like, arena rock. And that's exactly what it is. These guys decided to go for arena rock.
Right.
And I mean, how much of that is a Bob Rock influence on them? How much of that is not having Cliff around anymore to kind of rein them in? I don't know. For better or worse, it's one of their best selling, probably their best selling.
It is their
album.
best. It's one of the best selling albums of the 90s too. So yeah.
I don't dislike it. I really enjoyed it at the time that it came out. I overall, I think it's a strong album, and everybody's going to bitch. Well, it's not a Metallica album. It is a Metallica album. It's just it's not the Metallica album the diehard fans wanted.
All right, that's fair. All right, how about you, Tim?
I still blame Metallica, particularly on this tour, for the neck damage that I have today.
Show me on the doll where James hurt you.
right here, right back here. Yeah, it's back there. There's a couple vertebrae back there that are damaged, or eventually going to have some surgery, and that was solely due to the Cincinnati show we went to at the Gardens in '92 or '93, whenever that was.
yeah, it would have probably been either late '91 or early '92. Yeah.
The album itself, I know that a lot of the diehard fans bag on this album is when they try to do like their pop phase or whatever you want to call it, but I love this album. I think it's a great Metallica album. It's definitely a dynamic shift from And Justice for All and Master of Puppets. But I kind of think that needed to happen because they had really pushed so far into that thrash phase. I don't think there was really anywhere left for them to go. So a genre shift needed to happen. They did it superbly. I love this album.
All right. Well, I know a big part of why they changed was because Lars didn't want to keep playing those 8 or 9 minute, songs that constantly changed because he just, wasn't enjoying it. He wasn't able to pay attention to the show, which I get that. That's a lot going on and whatever. And it was actually him, after hearing the Dr. Feelgood album from Motley Crue, it was that album that made him seek out Bob Rock for this album. So, and yes, I mean, like I said, I waited in line. I remember buying the single for Enter Sandman before the album came out. And
single. Wow.
Yeah, single. And I remember the video, and I love the song. Yes, it is a different sounding Metallica. Yes, and that's fine. I do still enjoy the album. I do have some issues with some of the songs, but for the most part, it is a good album. and I think it's aged well. It doesn't sound like, 1991 or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, I still have the CD I bought day one, and I have recently added the remastered vinyl record to my collection. So I get the diehard fans, but then again, this made them more famous. This one, like I said, it was one of the best-selling albums of the 90s, so which says a lot, some good, some bad. But anyway, all right, let's go ahead and move on to some facts about the album. The Black Album was released August 12th, 1991. It is the fifth album from the band. Recorded between October 6, 1990 and June 16, 1991 at One-on-One Studios in Los Angeles. All songs are written by Hetfield and Ulrich, with occasional assists from Newsted and Hammett. The first of the four albums produced by Bob Rock for the band. The 5 singles were released. Enter Sandman was released July 29th. And then the B-side of that one was the Queen cover Stone Cold Crazy. The single reached number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. And the single itself was certified 9 times platinum. Unforgiven was released October 28th, 1991, with the B-side being Killing Time. This song reached number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 10 on the mainstream rock charts. Nothing Else Matters was released April 20th, 1992, with a live version of Enter Sandman on the B-side of that. This single reached number 11 on the U.S. mainstream rock charts and number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song has been covered by British singer Lucy Silvas, which I have not heard that version, and Miley Cyrus did a cover of it, which is actually pretty good. An instrumental version can be heard in the 2021 film The Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. We actually did an episode called The Rock episode, where we compared the Jungle Cruise and the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle episode. But yes, I remember watching it for the first time, like going, hey, I know that song. Wherever I May Roam was released October 19th, 1992, with a live version of Fade to Black on the B-side. This song reached number 82 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 25 on the U.S. mainstream rock chart. The fifth and final single off the album was Sad But True, released February 8th, 1993. And the great song So What, the cover, was a B-side of that one. Reached number 98 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 15 on the U.S. mainstream rock charts. Don't Tread on Me was also issued to radio stations shortly after the album release, but not released commercially for good reasons. The album debuted at number 1 in 10 countries and spent 4 consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200. The album has since been certified 2 times diamond for selling over 30 million copies. By the way, I think it's the first album we've ever reviewed that actually has been certified diamond. So, wow. It finished the 1990s at number 8 at the Billboard 200. So, number 8 for a decade. That's pretty solid. Logging over 488 weeks on the U.S. Billboard 200, Metallica proved to be the third longest charting album in the Nielsen SoundScan era, behind only Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and Carole King's Tapestry. That's impressive, too. If you want some deeper insight into the album, some behind-the-scenes production and all the shenanigans going on there, our good friends over at the Shirley Campy Series podcast did a deep dive when they were reviewing the year 1991, so go check that out. Another note, and this will come up later with the other 2 albums, this album clocks in at 62 minutes and 31 seconds. It is the shortest of the 3 albums we are discussing tonight. So that matters. Anyway, so let's
reasons that will become apparent.
Yes. Oh my God. Anyway.
And you forgot to mention one notable cover of Enter Sandman.
What's that?
Ghost.
Oh, that's right.
Enter Sandman. Yeah.
Weezer.
Not their best cover. Not their best cover.
And Weezer did a cover of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Ghost did a fantastic cover of Genesis, Jesus, He Knows Me. Their cover of Enter Sandman, well, it was a cover.
Well, okay. So I guess we should check out the Weezer one instead. Got it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into our favorite tracks off this album. Tim, you start. What's your favorite? And did anybody get it right?
My favorite, I mean, if I'm going to pick up my guitar and play, I know Enter Sandman, so that's what's going to come out. But if I'm actually picking my favorite track, it's going to be Sad But True.
Oh, man. I am so bad at guessing these. And you know what? That song never even crossed my mind to pick for you. That's funny. All right.
I love the riff in that, and the little 5 count before it drops back in that kind of threw
Yeah.
us off for years when we were trying to figure out how to count it, and we're like, you should count in 4, and there's a missing beat.
I love, and just it's so bass heavy. It's almost like
Right.
it's almost like they were like, well, let's make up for Justice and make this one really bass heavy.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's just a lot of good songs on this album.
Okay.
I definitely think this is the strongest of the 3 albums.
Well, that's
I'd say
easy.
at least 75% of this album is just straight bangers.
All right. All right. Well, we'll come back to you after John drops his favorite track on us.
I cannot believe I'm actually in agreement with Brown.
Oh, you're picking Sad But True as well? Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Inner Sandman.
It's almost like I don't even know you guys. What the hell?
Inner Sandman was the first song I taught myself to play on guitar. And I do love it. But it kind of comes down to that thing that Eric and I tend to have. It's just been so overplayed that
Right.
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoy it when it comes on because I don't. To be totally honest, I don't hear much Metallica anymore. They're not really heavily in my rotation.
Okay.
But that song, this whole album holds a pretty special place in my heart because it's the first one that I was a current fan for. I caught
Right.
up on all the other ones, through you guys. You guys kind of influenced me, and I went back and got the back catalog and stuff like that. But this is the first one that I was actually a fan of the band at the time the album was released. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on this album, like Tim said. It's very commercial, especially for these guys.
Yeah, there's definitely a handful of these are very commercial friendly for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit on what Tim said earlier, though, saying that they couldn't go any farther into the thrash. Because at this point, I didn't really consider Metallica a thrash band. I mean, the first album, Kill 'Em All, they were more of a thrash band. But then, from then on, they were more of I think, a metal band. They weren't really, they didn't really push the envelope of thrash because thrash has more of that punk element into it, at least in my definition of thrash. And it's not really there on preceding albums so that being said, it was overall good album. I mean, God, we saw them
At least a few times.
I think 5 times on this tour, 3 or somewhere between 3 and 5 times.
Yeah, I know we saw him
think I
in
only
Cincinnati,
saw him
and
twice.
I know I saw him in Cincinnati. I know I saw him up in Dayton,
And
at least a
Riverbend.
couple times. Yeah, yeah. So it would have been 3 times for sure.
Yeah, and we
Riverbend,
had-
Gardens, and then Hera. Yeah,
You and I had the opportunity to see him in Florida and decided not to go
yeah,
while
yeah.
we were on
So
break.
yeah, so. And actually, it would have been Hera Arena, and then later it might actually have been because I know I saw him at Nutter Center too. So maybe it
Nut
was
House.
actually yeah.
I don't remember Hera. But then again, Hera is traumatic, so I try not to remember Hera.
Yeah. So
Listening to thinking about your definition of thrash, I have a minor quibble.
Yeah.
You talked about the
Well,
punk
quibble away.
aspect,
Quibble
the
away,
early,
quibble boy.
the early Metallica and Anthrax definitely had a lot of that punk feel to them,
Yeah.
and then definitely blended that with metal. But I don't think if you're looking at the big 4 of thrash, I don't think Megadeth or Slayer ever really had that punk element to them.
Slayer did because it was just balls to the wall speed.
yeah,
for
a lot
those
of times,
guys.
but yeah,
but
they
that didn't really feel like punk to me.
yeah.
That's more of a hardcore. So I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs there.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I
everybody's
honestly
entitled to their own opinion.
right. I personally, I still think they still fall in the category of thrash for me. Even, I mean, not so much with these 3 albums we're discussing, but I think it was a little bit like with grunge. I mean, let's be honest, Alice in Chains didn't sound anything like Pearl Jam, who didn't sound anything like Nirvana, but they were all grunge because of the time frame and more honestly where they came from more than anything. But so yeah, I mean, does does Master Puppets sound like, Pleasures of the Flesh from Exodus? No, but they're both San Francisco thrash. I mean, they all came up in those. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
splitting
valid.
hairs. I agree.
Thrash for me always has that speed element to it, and
Yeah.
these guys got a little bit more. I would label them even a little bit more progressive as the career went on.
Well, it definitely helped when Cliff showed up, and I mean, a big change happened with his writing. So there was more songwriting involved. There was more arrangements, and it wasn't just what we got on the first album. So, you could still have the thrash sound, but actually be good songwriters too. So
Yeah,
anyway.
And I think up until And Justice for All, there were still a lot of thrash elements in many of the songs.
oh, they were still
Yes.
heavy.
So I think that was still definitely up the thrash era for them.
Yeah,
and
that's-
then this album came out and shifted gears totally.
Yes. And just kicked thrash right in the balls and said, nope, we're just kidding. Anyway, moving on. So
back the money truck up.
yeah, and that's exactly what happened. So
Right.
anyway, all right. So for me, my favorite song, neither one of you guessed. So it's actually "Unforgiven."
Yeah.
So
I thought about that because it's the longest song on the album.
that's
So-
not why I picked it. God. Anyway,
Does it fade out? I can't remember.
holy shit, I can't remember either. Anyway, it's such an emotional song. I mean, the lyrics are kind of heavy, and at this point in James' writing, he still had smart lyrics. He still had intelligent lyrics. He still had things to say, and I just love the way it builds up. I love the guitars; they sound great. And lyrically, I do think it's some of the best on the album. And I mean, and honestly, it's this, and I have a runner-up that are pretty close to each other. And but no, this showed that they could do. I mean, I know Nothing Else Matters gets a lot of attention because it's a true ballad. This one, I think it has more weight to it, and it's just a better written and a better arranged song than. And I also think it's one of Kirk's better solos on the album as well, too. So, but yeah, I love Unforgiven. I think it's great, and I will say that the Unforgiven 3 on Death Magnetic, I like that one too, and we'll just leave the other one alone. So anyway,
All
moving on.
right, so I missed two for certain. I will say a little bit of trivia on the Unforgiven is we got to see the worldwide live premiere of that because the Cincinnati show was the
Yes.
first show that they played it.
Yeah. That
I
was
remember that from the documentary. That Lars is like, if James gets his double neck, we're going to debut the Unforgiven tomorrow night in Cincinnati. But I just remember Lars, saying, he's on the phone with somebody. He's like, if James gets his double neck, we're going to debut the Unforgiven in Cincinnati of all places. And I'm like, fuck you. Cincinnati's not that bad of a town.
It's not that great, but it's not that bad.
Hey, you know what? It's sold out. So whatever. Doesn't matter. All right. So Tim, you'd mentioned what's your second runner up as far as the favorite goes?
Mine?
Yeah.
I mean, probably Enter Sandman, but maybe God. There's a lot of other songs on this album that I really like, so
Okay.
we're splitting hairs to pick one.
All right. How about you, John? Do you have a second?
One I always really liked, and it got no attention from anybody at all, probably other than me, is I really liked Of Wolf and Man.
Okay.
That's the one I picked for Dayton.
Yeah.
It's really similar in structure, at least as I'm recalling it, to Sad But True. It's got that, the timing and stuff is totally off, but it's just got that same feel to it. It's like
that kind of slowed down, kind of beast plotting kind of rhythm.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different song structure because you get more of a singing from James.
Yeah.
Through the
Well,
verses.
this is really
and
the
stuff like
first
that.
album where James did that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the fire woman, yeah. If you took a drink for every "yeah" James said, you'd be dead by the time.
Yeah, that'd be the drinking game from hell for sure.
Right. Or blotto by the end of side one.
James was, but
Well.
probably so was the rest of the band. Let's be honest.
So actually, the one that comes in second for me is Wherever I May Roam. I think that's a just great song, and everybody wants to call it a road song, but I really don't think it is. I think that's selling it short. I think there's a lot more to what he was trying to say than just, another, it's not, it's not a road song. It's more of a, yeah, I don't, I'm not going to live by societal rules. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to be a drifter. And I don't know. I think there's, more going on to there, but I think that's a great song.
It's definitely like, it's not Metallica's Turn the Page, It's
No.
not we're on the road and this is a band on the road and we're on the road.
Right. No, it's definitely not that. And that's a good thing. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move on to any duds or skippers from this album. John, what don't you like?
I don't really have any skippers on the album.
I have one.
Well, of course you do, because you have to be contradictory.
No, that's not why I have one. I have one because there's a song on here I really don't like.
Okay. But that being said, there's definitely songs that I favor more than others. And when I do have a Metallica playlist going, there are 3 or 4 from this album that make it and several others that don't. But in and of itself, I don't think there's any really quote unquote bad songs on this album. There's definitely some weaker ones.
Okay.
But that's the case. That's the case with any album. Quite honestly, there's always going to be, they all can't be, they all can't be the superstar. But, that's just me.
They all can't be Abbey Road or or Moving Pictures. Right.
So. Well, that's the Beatles and Rush. You're on a whole other level. You're on hollowed ground there, and you can't. You just can't.
All right. Tim, anything that doesn't land for you?
I won't call them skippers, but the last 3 songs I think are the weakest ones on the album.
Okay. I mean, I see none of those made my dud. So, and to be really fair, curious. John, my Friend of Misery is longer than Unforgiven, so leave me alone.
By how much?
30 seconds.
Oh, it must not fade
That's
out.
Significant. That's significant.
That is significant. Leave me alone. All right. So I don't disagree with the last 3 songs not being amazing. But yeah, interesting. Okay. Wow. So I'm the only one who actually has a dud. That I guess that shouldn't surprise me, but I don't know. Anyway, so the one song on here that I really don't like is "Don't Tread on Me."
Why did I kind of figure that was going to be?
I kind of figured.
Oh, it's so bad. Don't tread on me. It sucks, man. I'm sorry. The riff sucks. It's almost lyrically. I mean, yay, James, great. But they're stupid lyrics too. There's nothing about this song that does anything for me. The riff is stupid. It is by far the one song on here I'm just like, this song does not need to be on this album at all. No.
The minute the title left your lips, I'm like, it makes total perfect sense.
It's not a good song.
Yeah,
and that's
looking
fine.
Back, you're right.
That's your opinion, and I don't really feel that way one way or another about the song. It's kind of a, I can take it or leave. It's a take it or leave it song for me.
I'll put it this way: I don't hate the song as much as Dayton, but I also can't refute any of his points about it.
Yeah, it's never going to lead off one of my playlists. That's for doggone sure. It'll probably never even make one of my playlists.
Right.
But that being said, again, they all can't be winners.
No, they can't. And even if the lyrics got changed, I don't think that would help. I just don't like the arrangement. I don't like the riff. It just feels like it feels almost juvenile as far as a songwriting goes. I'm just like, yeah, no. All right. So any other things we want to mention before we move on to the next album?
I am still going to be sending them my chiropractor bill.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll pay that. Sure. Anyway.
So
right, so let's go ahead and move into Load. Tim, opening thoughts on this album?
And now we have reached the portion of the program where, honestly, Metallica just started to lose me around this point.
Yeah, I have a couple different stories I'm going to share that kind of reinforces that for me too. Anyway, is that all you got to say? Okay, just making sure.
Now,
How about
the
you?
only other thing I will say is that while there are a few good songs that I do really like on this album, after what was it, 5 or 6 years between this and Black Album?
It was 5
Anyway,
years. Yes,
a
5
number
years.
of years had gone by, and we're like, okay, I need some new Metallica, and there was such a tonal shift from Master to And Justice and to the Black Album, and now it's like, oh, they've been gone for like 5 years, baby, and they hit us with Load, which felt like just a bunch of leftover songs from the writing sessions for the Black Album.
Yeah. I have more to say. John, opening thoughts for this one.
I'm gonna catch some shit because I don't dislike these next two albums as much as you guys do. They're not,
I will say that Load has grown on me a little bit more preparing for this, but not much.
I mean, not to get too far in depth, but listening to Load to get ready for this podcast, I noticed a lot of stuff that on here that's got it's to me in my ear, and say what you want about my ear. There's a lot of like Aerosmith sounding, like classic rock sounding stuff on this album.
Dude, there's friggin' slide guitar in this album.
And I honestly don't have a problem with the slide guitar. But
I've always hated the slide guitar.
If I want slide guitar, I'll listen to fucking ZZ Top. I'm just saying.
I mean, that being said, this is kind of like Tim. This was kind of like the beginning of the end of Metallica for me. And it's not necessarily because I don't like the album. It's just because, they go away. They tour for 3 or 4 years. Then it's 5 years to make an album. Well, we're actually going to make a double album, and which I probably would have respected these guys more had they released this and Reload as the double album.
Well, that was Lars's decision to not, because he said there was enough music for 2 separate albums, and I'm like, was there?
It's all about the Dungeons, baby.
Yeah.
But that being said, I was so oversaturated with Metallica at this point in my music life that it's kind of like, yeah, you guys need to go away and for a while.
I'm going to throw this little tidbit in here. This has nothing to do with Metallica or much of anything we've really been talking about, but you mentioned the slide guitar, and I'm going to give you a little factoid about Tim and the way my ADHD neurodivergent brain works. The slide guitar gives me the same physical reaction in my stomach as motion sickness.
Well, I don't hate slide guitar like that. I just don't think it belongs on this fucking album.
I try to listen to it. I try to think, okay, there's been a lot of great slide guitar players over the last 100 years, but every time I hear it, I just feel like I'm in a car that I've been in for way too long and someone needs to pull over right now.
Wow, I guess I have a new resolution for the next year.
And that might go a long way to explaining some of my hatred of country music.
Yeah, that might. Yeah. That would probably help. So, all right. So I have 2 stories to share. So a day or 2 before the album was supposed to drop, the local rock station at the time had received a copy of it, obviously in advance, and they were going to play it in order until the hour was up and they couldn't play it anymore. Fine. I was all excited. They've been talking about it for days. I sat down, in front of the radio. I had it tuned, and the music started coming through. And so I wasn't too upset at the first because Ate My Bitch isn't terrible, but it just kept like 2x4 and then House that I'm like, what the hell is this? I was so mad. Like I was almost in tears at the shit I was hearing coming out of the radio. I'm like, I don't want to hear you guys trying to be REM. I don't want to hear you guys trying to be ZZ Top. If you want to experiment, great. Do a fucking solo album. I don't want to hear country. I don't want to hear this coming from you guys, especially after being gone for 5 years. So I did not buy a copy.
I asked Tim earlier, show me on the doll where James hurt you.
Here.
It
Right
hurt,
here.
It hurt my heart. Honestly, it hurt my heart. Now, to be fair, I've been in like Half Price Books or other places, and there'll be people shopping the CDs, and inevitably somebody picks up this one, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is my favorite, Metallica CD." I'm like, "Okay, fine." This, and that's fine. Good for you. And if you like it, awesome. But for me, this was a lot of what the hell. Okay. That hurt. And then the person I was with at the time actually eventually bought a copy of the CD. I had not listened to this entire album since then. Like I listened to it one time when it first came out, and I had not listened to the entire thing again until preparing for this. That's how much I did not like it. Then, during the tour, and if I've told this story before, I apologize, but I'm gonna tell it again real quick. We went to go see them. They were doing 2 nights in Cincinnati on this tour, and the show was pretty good, and then afterwards, a bunch of us were hanging out at the back of the Coliseum, waiting for the guys to come out. And of course, when you first start, there's like 50 or 60 people all hanging around waiting, and then as the time progresses, and 30 minutes and 45 and an hour goes by, then people start to leave, the others leave, and then 2 hours after the show was over, there's like 10 of us still there, maybe 10, 15 of us still there. And Jason comes out, and Jason signs autographs, does pictures, and he's all real friendly, and he just shaved his head, so he's letting us rub his head and everything for luck or whatever. Very friendly. And we asked where the other guys were. Like, oh, they went to a VIP party at a bowling alley across the river. Okay, fine. Gotta admit, that hurt, because this is the first time I'd ever waited for them, and the other guys didn't come out at all. So the next night, I go down. Don't go down there for the concert, because I'm not paying 2 nights in a row just to have the money. But we drive down to Cincinnati, the time the show was supposed to be over. And once again, we wait again. And the funny part was there's a bunch of the same people from the night before there again. And we wait, half hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours later, once again, out comes Jason. Jason signs autographs again. And Jason's talking to us and have a good time. And he's informed us the other guys already left. They were already on the bus and they're leaving. And that, plus this terrible excuse of an album. Yeah, I was not a fan of this band for a while. I mean, yes, I liked their older stuff and whatever. I didn't like burn my CDs and stuff at the time, but I was hurt as a Metallica fan. I'm like, what the actual fuck, So that is where I'm at when it came to this album. And of course, I always find it funny that later that, you hear stories that how the other guys made fun of Jason for spending time with the fans. I'm like going, well, wasn't for the fans, you guys would be, trying to scrounge your money together to eat at Wendy's again, like you did back in the mid 80s. So kiss my ass, whatever.
Well, isn't that also kind of a good indicator of when the rift between Jason and the rest of the band started?
It started when he was hired.
Yeah,
Well,
it started early on, but it got worse because Jason was trying to write other music. I mean, he was trying to record with a different, like his own band, and James wouldn't allow it. He was like, you're in Metallica. You can't do other projects.
But
and
James was recording with COC at that time too.
Well, yeah,
he did some
but
stuff with Corrosion of Conformity.
Right, but that's not his album. That was, that's not a solo album is what I'm saying. Jason was trying to do his own music and James wouldn't allow it. He was being a control freak. And it shows if you look at the track listing for all these albums, he has Newsted has maybe 2-3 writing credits at all, and then, later James said, well, he didn't spend time with us. I'm like, well, you treated him like crap. You didn't let him participate, and you made fun of him for being a decent human being. Maybe, this is the era that I call where a couple of the guys, like James and Lars, whatever, it's the our shit doesn't stink era. It's like we can do whatever we want and nobody cares. And whatever. Moving on. Okay. Facts about Load. Released June 4th, 1996, recorded between May of 95 and April of 96 at the plant in Sausalito, California. and also at Right Track in New York City. Singles off the album include Until It Sleeps, released May 20th, 1996, which reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it their highest charting single and their only top 10 hit in the United States. Hero of the Day was released September 9th, 1996, and it reached number 60 in the Hot 100 and number 1 on the mainstream rock charts. Number 3, Mama Said, released November 25th, 1996. It did not chart in the U.S. Shocker. Number 4, I have thoughts. King Nothing, released January 7th, 1997. The album itself reached number 90 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 6 on the Main Street Rock charts. The album has been certified 5 times platinum and spent 4 consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200. This album clocks in at 78 minutes and 59 seconds. All right. So just, it's not a feature-length film, guys. Okay. So let's jump into our favorite track from Load. John, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, and I got a feeling I'm going to get some shit for this.
That's it. Hey, they're your ears. I'm not going to make fun of anybody for their picks. I'm just not.
I like, and it's probably a song that you hate, I really like The Outlaw Torn. And yeah, you're making the face.
My only issue is literally The Outlaw Torn and Fixer are like literally siblings. They both have the same kind of intro. They have the similar arrangements, and they're both over 8.5 minutes long. And I'm like, okay, pick one or the other, guys. Just say
It's
it.
really weird to hear you bitch about a long song.
I don't mind long, as long as they don't feel long. Both of those songs feel long. Anyway.
I don't know. There's something about The Outlaw Torn that it just really, I don't know. I just really gel with. So I like that song. And to push back on your point, written in the same sessions and stuff's going to sound the same. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, and that's fine, but not every song needs to make a record either.
No, but your point is still valid. But these guys knew going in that this was going to be a double album that turned to be, it was supposed to be, I think it actually was supposed to be a double album at one
Yeah, like I
time,
said, Lars decided that there was enough to make a second record. And I'm like,
cash grab.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
I think there's some good stuff on the album. The middle part of the album with Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, and Hero of the Day is like my favorite little part on the album. That's the stuff that kind of gels with me. Ain't My Bitch isn't horrible, like you said.
I like the music. I really do. And I like the pre-chorus, but I hate the Ain't My Bitch. I'm like, shut up. Just, it's so stupid. It's stupid.
Listening to it the other day at work, I had earbuds in and stuff, and nobody was there. It was just me. And 2x4, I'm like, this is a freaking they ripped this out of the Aerosmith catalog.
It's a blues rock song. And like I said,
there's nothing wrong with that. But these guys are not a blues rock band.
No. And ultimately that's what it comes down to. And I understand the desire to experiment, because I know Kirk was really into blues and jazz at the time. And I know, obviously James has a country side, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that they can't explore those, but maybe not on a Metallica album is where they belong. You can experiment elsewhere, call it whatever you want. But to me, they're not good enough musicians to do different genres right or do them well. That's my complaint.
I think another valid point to that is it might be okay to explore it on an album, but limit it to a one track. This is like the majority of the album is blues,
an experiment.
is blues and classic rock
or country.
Yeah,
Let's not forget.
I mean, James is a big country guy, but
and that's fine. He's do a solo album.
He's like the Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash style of country, which I kind of like as well. So that's why I like The Outlaw Torn, because of growing up, my parents listened to country music. So I heard a lot of Johnny Cash. I heard a lot of Willie Nelson. I heard a lot of Chris Christopherson, who's got the worst voice ever. Could write a song like nobody's business.
Yeah, right.
Why the hell they let that man sing is beyond me.
Or let him act. Why'd they do that? So whatever.
he was great in Blade.
No, well, okay. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole, and I think that's why I like The Outlaw Torn, because it kind of reminds me of that vibe. Is it a Metallica vibe? Absolutely not. Does it belong on a James solo record? 100%. But I think I liked it because out of everything that was different on that album, that was almost different, but it was well done different.
Okay.
The other stuff was just kind of done mediocre. You know, it's like you said, musicianship from everybody is not there.
Yeah, I mean, they're good at what they do. And it comes like later when they do another covers album. There's a lot of yuck on that on those covers. So whatever. Anyway, all right. Okay. Cool. Tim, favorite track?
Probably going to go with King Nothing just because I really like the bass line.
All right, that's
I
fair.
just like that riff a lot.
You can actually hear it.
Yeah, I know.
Right? 2 albums in a row. You can hear Jason. What?
I know. What a thought. What a thought.
Yeah, I kind of agree with John that Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, Hero of the Day, that's kind of a good run in the album.
Mhm.
Ain't My Bitch is kind of a fun track, but yeah, the lyrics are dumb as hell.
Well, it's the rest. I like how it's put together. I just don't like that the last line of the chorus. I just think it's just
throws the whole thing off.
It's kind of juvenile.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the rest of this album, I listen to maybe a minute of each track, and then I'm like, okay, I've heard enough of this, and I go to the next. The rest of this album is just exactly that for me. Every other song. I will say, I feel like with this album is when, when I said earlier that this was when I kind of started to lose interest in Metallica. And I feel like around this time is when Metallica lost interest in Metallica.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of heart missing. Yeah.
Yeah. About 96, we've been into the grunge movement for several years now. And it's kind of become the cool thing to bag on the heavy metal dudes. And how passe and last decade that shit is. and Metallica, I think, caved to that, man. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to just do some stuff. We're going to just thumb our nose at the metal that got us here.
Yeah, I do think that I just remember when seeing pictures of them when this album came out, they all cut their hair off, and I'm just like, and they're all smoking cigars in the album pictures, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
Right.
Like, what the hell happened?
Where's the guys in the jeans and t-shirts?
Yeah.
There's the infamous story at the Alice in Chains Unplugged taping that they showed up. So Mike Inez backstage wrote on his bass, "Friends don't let friends get friends' haircuts." But yeah, I mean, grunge has started to take over, and I mean, every one of the big four probably. I can't say that.
No,
but because I'm not really familiar with Slayer's catalog. But out of Anthrax,
Slayer just did Slayer. That's just all there is to it.
But Anthrax, Metallica, and Megadeth all did a grungier album. I mean, granted, Metallica did 2 of them.
Well, they did a lot of blues rock and other shit.
But yeah, but it was all influenced by the Seattle sound, and whether or not any of those, I think Anthrax was brave enough to admit it. The other 2, I don't know. There's too many egos involved. But yeah, they lost their way. Could be argued. I think they just didn't. I honestly, I think the money was so good. They just the greed took precedent. And it happens to a lot of bands. So I can't single them out for it because hell, my favorite band is the biggest cash grab guys in the world. So I can't hold these guys to a different standard, but based on where they came from and what they always quote unquote preached up until this point, to get this was a real slap in the face to the Metallica fans. Yeah.
They definitely lost their way, and they, like I said, they're at that point where they had one of the biggest selling albums of the decade, and we'll just do whatever we want. And some people bought it, so obviously it still sold very well, but it's. Not every song needs to make an album. Okay, you can say no. You can put some things back and maybe later. So anyway, I remember reading in the Internight biography, the James was talking about these two albums, and he kind of jokingly said, "Yeah, I just kind of let Lars and Kirk do whatever they wanted." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can tell."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
he was going through a lot of substance problems at this time.
they
wasn't he?
all had this.
They kind
their
of
own,
started.
I think 3 of the guys got divorced at one point, and over the course of either last album or this one. But yeah, I know they had their things, and I get that, but this is such a giant departure that it was hard to listen. But anyway, I do have a favorite, and I have a list of songs that I don't hate. So let's start with my favorite, and it's Until It Sleeps. I really like this
that's
song.
the one I picked for you.
I think it might be.
I did. I got one.
Hey, Tim got one right. That's okay. I don't get any of it right. Because I sure as hell didn't pick the Outlaw Torn for not whatever. That surprised me. So it's a really good song. It has enough of what was good about the last album still in it. You know, it has there's a feel to it. There's an emotion to it that feels genuine. There's a lot of these other songs that just kind of feel like, hey, this is a cool riff. Let's write some lyrics and record it and we're done. Great. That's not how this works, but whatever. So, so the songs I don't hate, Wasting My Hate, I kind of dig that one. Bleeding Me was pretty close to one of my favorites, but at the same time, it starts to feel long. I do like the song. I love the sound. I love the way it's put together, but it's too long. Thorn Within I like, and we mentioned Ain't My Bitch. Most of it is good except for that one little line that's really stupid. So I don't hate the entire album.
They just happened to name the song that.
I know. I'm just like... There's whatever. Anyway, so. Anyway, all right. Any other songs on the positive side you guys want to mention before we move on? Nope.
I think I've covered it.
All right, John.
I'm good. I've mentioned the ones that will make the playlist off of this for me. So
all right. Okay, so I'm going to start because I'm just going to get this out of here, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So
bursting out.
Yeah. So these are all the songs that should have been cut from the album for multiple reasons. 2x4 is stupid. The House That Jack Built, the song goes nowhere, and the vocals, James just goes out of key and is flat so many times, and like in the chorus and repeats. I'm like, how that got by, I have no idea. In fact, the bad part is the chorus is the only decent part of the song. I'm like, I don't understand. It's the pre-chorus where like James goes flat. It starts off that way, and I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? Anyway, Hero of the Day, you are not an alternative rock band. Stop it, okay? I hate that song. Poor Twisted Me, nope, does not belong on this album either. Don't like it. Mama Said, I've said enough about that one already. Country album, go do your own thing there. Ronnie, this song does nothing for me. It meanders around. It's too long. There's no payoff. Once again, maybe should have been a James solo album, whatever. And I've already talked about the Outlaw Torn. It's just too long. It doesn't do anything. You know, I don't mind long songs when there's things that change about it, like, you know, a time shift or something different. That's a lot of what these songs, even the shorter ones, they're just like one riff, maybe a second one for the chorus, and then nothing else happens. They're boring. They're boring, you know, and that's my biggest complaint with a lot of these songs. They just don't do anything, and they're not interesting. There's no heart. There's no aggression. It's just, hey, I have a great riff. Okay, let's record it, and they're done. You know, some of these songs literally sound like they maybe went through twice and kept one of the recordings and they were done. We're done. We're good. They're almost like one step up from demos, it feels like at times. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Anyway, okay, I'm done. Tim.
Would have been a lot shorter just to tell us what you liked. We could have figured it out.
I did. I told you the songs I didn't hate. Are you in the same boat with me, Tim? Duds or skippers?
Oh, man. I mean, really, other than the 4 ones I mentioned earlier, the rest of the album just does nothing for me.
Okay.
We talked about, you know, a lot of times bands think, oh, I can just do whatever we want to do and it'll be great. and that's not always true. And then some bands feel like they fall into this trap of, well, the fans won't let us change. They won't let us do anything except this particular formula. I heard this from Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley talking about the fans just want to hear this old thing. And I don't agree with that at all. I believe that if the music is good, the fans will follow you no matter if it sounds like the old stuff or not. And I'm going to use Rush again as an example. Look at how many times Rush shifted throughout their career from, the early kind of classic rock stuff. And then they got into the longer, more progressive, epic kind of songwriting, and then they went into the moving pictures and then on into the synth era, and then they got like a new wave feel in there, and then they kind of brought that back around to a more straight ahead rock sound again when you get to like Presto and Counterparts, like that. And then they kind of came full circle back to the prog thing at the very end with Clockwork Angels, and the fans followed them through every change. And yeah, there's always some grumbles here and there, but for the most part, the fans followed the band because the fans loved the music. If you want to do some other stuff, if you want to try country and alternative rock and all that stuff, fine, but make the songs good. And I don't think they did.
No, they're just not interesting. And I'm not a big fan of King Nothing either. It's fine. It just kind of feels like sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, which is why I didn't put it on the duds. But anyway. All right. John, songs you don't like.
I'm just going to go through the numbers rather than read the title. So track 1, skip it. Track 2, skip it. Track 3, it's all right. Track 4, like it. Track 5, like it. Track 6, like it. Track 7, it's okay. Track 8, skip it. Track 9, skip it. Track 10, it's all right. 11, skip it. 12, skip it. 13, skip it. And 14's my favorite. So there you go.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay.
And if that isn't track listing via Eric Brock, I don't know what it is.
Someone's got to do it. He's not here to do it. So
I think after this, I'm actually going to put together my own track listing between the two albums and just be like, it's going to be a lot shorter. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, it'd be, if you took the best songs off of these two albums, it'd actually be a pretty strong album. Maybe
it'd
not
shorter. It'd be a lot shorter.
It would be an album.
It would be better than the two we got. It's very true.
It's gonna make vinyl.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Is there anything else you got to mention before we move on to Reload? No. And can we just talk a minute about the album covers, please? Because
we're not talking about the sperm and the blood.
And then urine with blood. That's just, what the fuck? I know
that's the Kirk thing. Well, it's probably Lars too.
It was an artist. It was an artist friend that they liked, and it was his. Yeah. But it's gross. Okay.
But Kirk and Lars are the big art guys.
I know, so. And that it's gross. It's gross. I'd rather have, the Black Album again. Just whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Fortune, fame, mirror vein, gone insane, but the memory remains. Heavy rings on fingers wave, another star denies the grave. See the nowhere crowd.
Reload. Opening thoughts, John.
Between Reload and Load, I think Reload is slightly stronger.
What?
Which isn't really saying a whole lot. Again, there's a lot of stuff on here that doesn't make the playlist. There's a lot of stuff on here.
To put it mildly.
There's a lot of stuff on here that is. There's some good music on here. There's some decent riffs on here, but there's not a ton of great songs on here. So my comment saying it's stronger is based solely on kind of the vibe of it.
Okay.
I think I think musically there's less of the classic rock and blues influence on most of these tracks. I think
This one does stay more in the rock metal.
This is closer to the Black Album than Load was, in my opinion.
All right, I can accept that. I can accept that.
So maybe this one should have been Load and the other one should have been.
It does.
Load.
These are leftovers. They're leftovers from the first album. I mean, literally leftovers. Whatever. Anyways, all right. Tim, opening thoughts for Reload.
Yeah, pretty much. You said it. It's the leftovers, and Load to me, like I said, felt like leftovers from the Black Album, and Reload is leftovers from Load. So we've got like second degree or second generation leftovers now. This is the musical equivalent of digging through your refrigerator and finding a Tupperware bowl at the back, and you pull it out and you open it up and you offer it to your wife and you say, "Smell this. Is this good? Is this still edible?"
It looks like broccoli, but it was originally cheese.
See, I was thinking multiplicity,
no
like a copy of a copy
you.
of a copy. You know, that's what.
Right? Yeah.
We're going to ride a dolphin. We're going to eat a dolphin.
Sorry, a lot of thoughts there. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean that's where we're at here now. Then,
Yeah.
like I said, at this point I have completely lost interest in Metallica.
This is the She Touched Me, My Peppy, Steve album. I'm sorry, I love Multiplicity. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay. Now, so I had never listened to Reload all the way through ever until getting ready for this. And it was a hard listen. Let's just that's some of these songs are just like, it's still going. It's still going. Whatever. Just saying, you know, they wanted to strip it down and do shorter songs. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs on your half the album is over 6 minutes long each. So that's not shorter songs. Stop. Just stop. Bullshit. Anyway, facts about Reload. It was released November 18th, 1997, recorded between May 95 and February 96. During the same time, they were recording the songs for Load. And also they did some more recording July and through October of 1997 at the plant in California. Singles off the album include The Memory Remains. It was released November 10th, 1997. Reached number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 3 on the mainstream rock chart. Unforgiven 2 was released February 23rd of 98. It reached number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the mainstream rock chart. Fuel was released June 22nd, 1998. Reached number 6 on the mainstream rock charts. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and stayed on the chart for 75 weeks. The album was certified 4 times platinum. This is the first Metallica album to feature a guest vocalist, Marianne Faithfull, and it was the last studio album with Jason Newsted. The album clocks in at 76 minutes and 3 seconds.
A lot of leftovers.
That's like leftovers. You're like, I'm not going to eat that. Throw it out. Anyway. Whatever. All right. So, Tim, your favorite track?
Album opener, Fuel.
Okay.
And it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, well, I get you. So, and I actually was having this conversation with a friend of the podcast, Jeff Johnson, and he, you know, I told him how I wasn't a fan of that song. He's like, oh, he liked it. He likes to put it on, like if he goes running, like on a workout playlist. I'm like, you know what? I can accept that. But for me, a song about cars feels so generic that I'm like, musically it's cool, but I don't listen to Metallica for generic lyrics. I don't give a shit about cars. I don't just, what the fuck? Anyway, stop it. Anyway, all right. Wow. Okay. So that was easy enough. The first track off the album. All right. John, favorite track?
I'm going to get shit for this.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. But I'm going to say it because I do actually like the song. I like Low Man's lyric. It's the most. You want to give me shit. You want to give me shit. It's the most un-Metallica Metallica song.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know. There's just something about it. There's something. There's a feeling that I have when I hear that song, and again, it probably goes back to some of the other stuff I was saying about my favorite on Load. It reminds me of something that I used to hear growing up.
Right.
It's definitely not a Metallica song. It's that if that would be a song from James' solo album. There's no doubt about it. But I like that the lyrics are somewhat more in depth than some of the other stuff on this album.
There are songs on this album that have good lyrics. I'm not going to say there's not, but
and I kind of like them. I kind of like the meaning behind the song. So I could see that James is starting to be a little bit more personal and vulnerable with some of the shit that's going on in his life.
Right.
I think, and that's always going to speak to me, and that's probably why I like that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I don't really have a favorite, so I couldn't. So, but the closest I get is Prince Charming. So I really do dig the verse. I think it's cool. It's for the most part, a well put together song. The lyrics are kind of dark, and I appreciate that. Thank you for that. The song rocks. The first solo break is kind of the weakest link in there. And I do think that the closing solo is really, really good. But like I said, this was the first time listening to all the way through, and this is one of the songs that actually kind of caught my attention. Songs I don't hate include Fuel, which we already talked about. Memory Remains. I love everything about the song except for Marianne Faithfull.
Amen.
Good Lord, does she just ruin the fucking song? Jesus. And it just goes on. At the end, it was like, nah, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. I'm like, this, stop. Okay. And anything else would have been better. A guitar, like a moody guitar, or even a, keyboard or something. A spoken word.
Guitar.
Huh?
Slide guitar.
That would have made Tim throw up. Even a spoken word, anything. It's like, it's so bad. I understand it's supposed to work with the lyrics, with the lyrical content of the song, but it just pulls me out of the song so hard. I'm like, ugh, stop it. Carpe Diem Baby. The song is good except for the title and the chorus. I like the song until you get the chorus. I'm like, that's stupid. Where the Wild Things Are is good except for the chorus. That falls flat a bit. It's the weakest part of the song. Like, I like everything. I like how it builds up. I like the pre-chorus. I like the lyrics for the most part. But then you have that chorus that, And then, just as a side note, this is the only song on the album that has a writing credit from Newsted, which is kind of sad that, whatever. Anyway, so those are the songs I don't hate.
Don't hate.
Good night, everybody.
He doesn't mind these songs.
I don't mind those songs. That's about it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move on
what he's got to say about the songs he likes.
Yeah. Well, duds and skippers for this one. John, why don't you start?
Oh, geez. I got to bring up track listing again. Okay, here we go. In honor of, our buddy Eric, who's not with us. 1, I can take it. 2, it's all right. 3, skip it. 4, no need for a sequel to that song. 5, it's not really better than me. 6, skip it. 7, too many uses of the word baby. 8, skip it. 9, it's okay. 10, it's all right. 11, I like it. 12, skip it. 13, skip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, honestly, if I didn't mention it above, they're all either too boring or just incredible. The biggest thing, a lot of these songs are just forgettable. You know what I mean? There's nothing that stands out for a lot of these songs. Like I said, it was just like, well, these are the leftovers that didn't make the first cut, and so let's just go ahead and record them and put them on another album. Like, why? Why?
So you want the money.
Whatever. Restraint. Not every riff leads to a song. Not every lyric is amazing. these two albums together are almost 3 hours long, man. I mean,
Now, see, this is a problem that Metallica had early on in their career too, but they had a different solution to it back then. Instead of taking every riff and making it into a song, they took every riff and packed it into one song,
which is a lot more interesting. A lot more interesting. And that, like I said before, some of these songs don't feel finished. There's a lot of similarities between songs. And like I pointed out before, Fixer and Outlaw Torn, they're so similar. I'm like, couldn't you have taken the two pieces and, you know, maybe take the best part of each song and put them together? You know, every song, it's like, this could have been part of this other song. This could have been part of this song. They could have put these things together, and just some of the stuff could have gone away. There seems to be no restraint. There seems like there was nothing left. I mean, not every song. There's so many bands over the years that at some point release, like, you know, anniversary, remaster or whatever, and then you get these are all the demos for the songs that didn't make it. Cool. But we didn't need all the demos on here. It's, you know, restraint.
Yeah, this song, both of these albums could have been like 10 tracks each.
8 tracks each.
And that might be generous.
That might be generous. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's jump into open discussion real quick. I've already kind of.
Hey, we didn't go to my Duds and Skippers.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So Duds and Skippers for Tim. I figured it was everything else too.
Well, you're mostly right. I did say that Fuel was my favorite track, and after that, the album starts to drop steadily. Actually, if I'm being honest, it's not a steady drop. Okay. The Memory Remains is okay. I can deal with it, so it's not a complete drop off there. After that is when we take a nosedive for the rest of this album. And I'm just gonna say Unforgiven 2. Okay, yeah, the play on the Unforgiven Roman numeral 2, and then because you're unforgiven too is the lyric. Okay, haha, cute. That is about all I can give that song. There was no need to make a sequel to a song that was already good, and God knows there was no need to make a third one. I mean, Ace Frehley did this. Fractured 2 was okay. After that, just stop. Just stop.
Jaws 3 should have
and
taught
Unforgiven
these
2
people something.
is like, what? What'd you say, John?
I said Jaws 3 should have taught these people something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I feel like, and it happens so often with like movies and TV shows. We're gonna reboot this and sequel that, and I'm like, just write something new. Just do something different. You don't have to build off of everything that came before and add on to stories that were already complete.
Right. Agreed. Go ahead and rate all 3 at one time, 1 to 5 albums. John, what are you giving these albums?
For the Black Album, aka Metallica, I'm going to give it 4.5 crushed vertebrae from Tim the Black. For Load, I am going to give it 2 loads.
And what we won't say.
Exactly. And for Reload, I'm going to ask that they reload again because they totally missed the mark.
You're not going to give it anything?
I'm going to give it a 2. I think that these are sub-average albums for these guys.
Okay.
Give me this is going to sound weird, but give me almost anybody else, give me a 90s era grunge leaning band doing some of this stuff, and it'd probably be really good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not in these guys' wheelhouse.
All right.
Yeah.
Tim?
Yeah.
Ratings?
I'm gonna go with John on the Metallica Black Album. 4.5 feels like the right number. The stuff that isn't great on this album, I don't think is bad enough to drag it down that much.
Okay.
So 4.5 feels about right. Load, I'm gonna go 3, and Reload, I'm gonna go 2. I mean, they drop down in quality album to album.
All right. So I'm actually going to go with a 4 albums for the Black Album. The stuff is really good, really good. And there are a few songs on side 2 that aren't as strong, but they're still listenable. And so for me, it's 4. Load. Like I said, listening to it, I warmed up a little bit to it, but it's still for me 2.5 because yikes. And then Reload, so much of this should never have got to our ears. I give it a 1.5 albums because it's just bad.
I think that's the lowest rating we've ever had on the podcast.
For an album, yes, it is. I did give a half a star, half a film reel for Capricorn 1. That's the lowest I've ever given.
Okay.
So, but album-wise, yes, this is the lowest I've ever given because it sucks. Whatever. It's bad. Anyway, so I want to thank these two guys for soldiering through some questionable music choices. I didn't want to dedicate a whole episode to either one of those albums. It was just better just to get it over with and hurry. So, but we will continue next year. We're going to keep going in order for the Metallica albums. So maybe these guys won't even join me for Saint Anger. I might be on my own on that one. We'll see. Either way.
No, I'll join you, but I have some stuff to say.
And that's fine. Still better than Load and Reload. Anyway, but yes, so thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Easter Bunny.
And I want to thank our listeners for spending time with us, especially through this last hour or so with me ranting and raving about stuff. So thank you for staying to the end. I appreciate it. Let us know what you think of these albums. I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of shit for my thoughts on the second and third album, but that's okay. I'm used to it.
Lars's lawyers will be in touch with you briefly.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm just going to stop. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Let us know what you think. You can even send us an email and also just comment on the episode. So we'd love to hear from you. We have a YouTube channel. If you want some more of us, we drop a new video every Friday, either a top 7 from our hosts, or we do a versus episode where we take an original song and compare it to a cover. Both of these guys have been on a few of those episodes, so check those out. And if you want to help support the podcast, jump on over to Patreon where we have exclusive content for our patrons. And if you ask really nicely, I will send you some podcast swag. So for the month of September, here's what we have on tap. Our 1977 series continues with 2 more episodes. We are reviewing Out of the Blue from the band ELO with special guest Lauren of the Beard Owl podcast. Tim will be back for that one. And we're discussing a James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me, with special guests Matt and Chuck from the Cinematic Flashback podcast. Our Disney live action series closes with Escape from Witch Mountain. And these 2 characters will be back again along with Eric Brock, and we are reviewing Somewhere in Time from Iron Maiden because we have to do at least one Iron Maiden episode every year. And the 2015 mockumentary series The Muppets ends the month. Do yourself a favor and listen to more music. And remember, physical media is better than streaming. The Docking Bay 77 podcast is produced and edited by Dayton Johnson. Recorded with Rode Pod mics, the Zoom PodTrack P4, and edited on Audacity. Opening music provided by Eric Jason Brock. You can find him on YouTube and Bandcamp. Thank you for listening.